Alright, hello. It's been like a little while, but we're back to dev streaming. I am Wallaber, and I'm still working on finishing up my game called Pro Gymnast. It's been a little bit since the last stream, but that doesn't mean I wasn't working on the game. In fact, a lot has happened. So big stuff-wise is localization. So I got all the translations back from company I was working with, and then implemented all the localization into the game, and it's looking pretty good. Let's see if I can look at it real quick in game. Come on. Oh, looks like it's recalculating some shaders. There we go. Jeez. Okay. Oh, there's a sneak peek of it. That looks like French, I think. Right. So we go back here. We can go to language. Hopefully, wow, things are running very slowly here. Hopefully it just needs to warm up a little bit. So here we got English, French, Italian, German, Spanish, simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and Russian. And then of course you switch and the whole game switches over. So mainly what I've been doing is getting these translations in, getting the fonts all set up properly, and then going through and finding hopefully most of the places in the game where text was not aligned properly once you threw different length strings at it and, you know, different fonts at it. So I think it's looking pretty good now. And the layout overall survived pretty well. There's a few things, like some of the things on these posters and stuff, you know, the text layout isn't amazing, but, you know, it's I'm pretty happy with it overall. Let's look at simplified Chinese. The font is pretty cool looking. I take the choice to not localize all the names of all the levels, mostly because I knew I'd be making edits kind of up until the last minute of release. I didn't want the extra dependency of getting all those level names translated. I don't think they really detract from the experience too much not being translated. I did translate, however, all the levels that are a tutorial of some kind, so that hopefully that makes them stand out even more and make sure that, you know, there isn't a language reason why the tutorials would come up short. I'm sure they can come up short on their own in other ways. Let's see, let's look at language with a similar character set to English. Here we go. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. Of course, you go into the game and you get translated text in game as well. Los. Oh, and big news, the chalk. I put in like a proper 3D model for the chalk. It was really just a slightly deformed cube. But before, it was an absolutely perfect cube, and it was kind of ridiculous. And also, the effect when you collect the chalk. Oh, of course, in order to show that, I would need to actually collect it. There we go. It's got little shards of chalk now instead of cubes. Looks pretty cool. So that's kind of like a little finishing touch. And then, so in addition to getting all the localization in and some of these like smaller tweaks, you know, I also got a build with this localization uploaded to itch, so my early players can give me some feedback on it. and I got build up on Steam. Not available yet, but it's been through the review process, which is great. It was actually, I sent it right before I got the translations, just in case something went wacky with the translations. I wanted to have a safety build. So I do have one now, so that's great. Which means now this week, I can upload a new build to Steam that should be like the release build, and maybe even another one after that. And then finally, I've been working on the trailer for the game. Trailers, actually. I have an editor that I'm working with who's going to do kind of the main trailer that's intended for the general audience, sort of gamers. And then I'm making a trailer that's more for like gymnastics fans and, people who are into parkour and, that kind of stuff. So that one sort of plays up the authenticity of me, the creator of the game, making a game I'm passionate about because I happen to also be a gymnast kind of thing. So spent a fair amount of time working on that as well. Maybe later in the stream we can look at it and maybe make a few edits. I got some feedback today from a handful of people and would like to get those changes in pretty soon. But first, I have a relatively short but list of fixes and changes. So I've noticed a few things as I have been making all these builds and capturing them and testing the game with the languages. And so a few kind of the most glaring issues were sort of standing out to me. So one of them is just that the gymnast arms were grabbing the bar a little bit narrow. Let's see if I can actually do this in German without having to go back out to the menus. Okay, so if we have like a normal bar here, now like a parallel bar, this is different. And I gotta make sure, actually, I'm pretty sure I do have different posing for these. And then let's see, what else should we test? We should test, well, the rings. They should work as well, where they're set up separately. The rope is separately set up, and we also want to test yeah, okay, so let's play this. So if we look here, I think the arms are a little on the narrow side. And getting the hands to line up with the parallel bars was proved to be pretty tricky. So if you really look closely at the hands, they don't quite grab onto the bar perfectly, but it's kind of a compromise that I'm okay with. Alright, now let's reset. Now let's go look at the rings. I'm gonna go look at this in the replay editor in a second. The hands don't line up perfectly on the rings either, but this was also kind of like well, I'd rather have it than not kind of a scenario. Oh, and then yeah, let's look at like when you do a tuck. Okay, so let's go to the replay editor. And let's see here. Let's go to the hand, yeah, the ground. So, okay, so there you can see, it doesn't look bad. It's a little close to the body. And like you'll see when you let go of the bar, the hands instantly widen out quite a bit to their default width when they're in the air, which it might actually be a little bit on the wide side, but see how that's a pretty dramatic change there. And then, okay, the grabbing on the knees is pretty good. Alignment there is pretty good, okay. Right, and this looks alright. Here also though, I mean, it would be nice, like, let's see, how can I show this? Let's look at it like this. See, the hands are so narrow that the arms actually clip through the ring slightly. It'd be nice if those could be just a tiniest bit wider. At least when you were up in the air. When you're down low, they get, that's probably the way to fix that. Okay. We're gonna try and clean this up a little bit. So let's okay. Let's go back. Oh, what happened? Did I lose my controller? Hmm. Weird. I'm not sure what the deal is. The controller is suddenly unresponsive. Yeah, that's weird. Unity is being a little concerning today. Let's see. So what do I want to do? I want to save this if I can. That was replay editor. Oh no, no, no. This is weird. Okay, whatever. I'll have to remake this level. I don't know what was going on there with controller suddenly not working. Hopefully that's not a major thing. Okay, so let's go look at the Gymnast avatar. So when you're in the air and you're not grabbing on anything, the arms are offset 0.3 units in each direction. So let's make this 0.25. And then when you're grabbing a bar, it's 0.14. This is the one we want to widen up a little bit, 0.18 maybe. Okay. And then apply those. Okay. Then what we want to look at is the rings. What is it? Grabbable ring? I think. I like the idea of widening them out a little bit when you're doing like a handstand. So let's see here. Where do we actually... Okay, here we go. Grabbed offset. Okay, so let's change this. Grabbed offset down. And grabbed offset up. Okay, and then what we should do, let's go, well, something's gonna turn red where we were using this. Here we are. Okay. And how is this actually working right now? Okay. So, where are we actually doing the rotation stuff? Is that up here? Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna need some math here. So what we could do is we could say vector 3 and then how do we get this? We have an M gymnast here. Where does that actually occur? On released. Huh. Is that a feature of grabbable? Let's go double check that. Yeah. M gymnast. On grabbed is set and on released is set to null. Okay, cool. So that helps us because we can do this com pos com vel and then we can say M gymnast. Get center of mass and velocity. That's just so we can get the center of mass. Then we can say, let's see. Yeah, we want to know, let's see, we want to know to attach which is going to be this. Look at this. I'm doing the exact same code, basically. I even called it the same thing. To attach. That's a vector going from us to where the rings are attached. That's where the lines are, the ropes is. And then we say vector 3 to com. And this is going to be hand dot transform dot position minus compos. No, other way around. It's always target minus start. B minus A. If you're going from A to B. Okay, so then float up dot equals vector 3 dot product, and we want to do a dot product of to attach dot normalized and to com dot normalized. So this is going to give us back a number where if the center of mass of the gymnast and the hands are right in line with the wires, you get a 1. If they're perpendicular, you get a 0, and if they're opposite, you get a -1. And so then we should be able to map this to the range of 0 to 1 by saying take that times 0.5 and then adding 0.5f, and then just like wrap the whole thing in a mathf.clamp 0, 1, even though it should be in that range, basically. Okay, so then we can use that number to say float grab offset equals math slurp, I guess, or smooth step. Smooth step from m grabbed offset down, because when this value is 0, we're down, to m grabbed offset up, which would be when we're up 1.0, and we're going to use up dot as the input to that. Okay, so then we can use grab offset here. Okay. Now we got 2 numbers we should be able to tweak. And then I think the actual placing of the rings, you know, is sort of downstream of that, so that the rest of this math should work. Okay. And then we've already got our rotation, which is calculated up in the fixed update. Fixed update and late update. Okay. All right, let's go see if Unity agrees with us. Man, the stream is dropping tons of frames. I wonder what the deal is. Computer's struggling. Okay, so wire rings. So if we go here to the actual grabbable ring, now we should have, yeah, grabbed offset up, down, and grabbed offset up. Okay, so up we're going to want to be kind of wide. So maybe 0.25, and then down let's try 0.18. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so this is on the wire rings. So let's test it on that, and then if it looks okay, we'll apply that to the bungee rings as well. Or we'll try and get the right number here. Okay, wire rings. There you are. Okay, so narrow through there, and then looks a little wider up top. Try and get a good look at that. Okay. Doop, doop. Let's go look at this. Controller's working again, so there's that. Okay. Yeah, so let's look at this like this. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I wish the hands were on there a little better when you're under. See, there they look okay, you know? Okay, that's fairly subtle. Yeah, you can definitely see it though. So the question is, are we happy with these values? There you see it going wider, narrower, wider. Yeah, we could go slightly wider up top, down low, they're good. I think. Yeah, and then if anything, the hands could be posed just like slightly higher when they're down low, although that may be an IK limitation. Like, I think maybe the hands just can't reach as far as I'm asking them to there. Okay. So the wire rings, the grabbable, we're gonna say maybe like 0. Let's try 0.3, even though that feels wide. And then the ring hand offset. We could do this too. We could try to modulate this slightly in the same way. I mean, let's try it. There's really no reason not to, right? So that we would need one for down, and we would need one for up. Oh, Dr. Argus, how's it going? You're asking how's it coming along? It's coming along very well. Been a little while since I actually streamed the dev on the game, but I'm making some good progress. I got all the localization in the game. I got a new build uploaded for playtesters. Got a build submitted and approved through Steam, and I've been working on the trailer for the game. So a lot. Going quite well. Today I'm just from capturing footage and working on the trailers and stuff, I noticed a handful of small things. Also, when I was testing the localization, I ended up looking at all the corners of the game and found a handful of things that are a little bit, could use some improvement. So I'm working on those right now. One of which is the hand placement, so how wide the hands are when they grab various things in the game. So what we're doing right now is the rings. I'm trying to get the hands to look a little better. Okay, so this would be math f dot smooth step from m grabbed offset down, m grabbed offset up, up dot, right? Yep, up dot. Okay. Okay, let's test this. So, okay, the hand offset was negative 0.05. So that was looking good when you were up on the rings, not when you were hanging down from them. So we're gonna say, let's try. This is the same, negative 0.05, and then this, yeah, let's leave this as slightly positive and just see if it even works. I really should go back and switch the language settings so I can navigate the menus a little faster, because I'm not any good at German. Okay, so the Ringe. Okay, so way off there. Wow. Okay, so I screwed up something pretty solid there. Am I off by like a 0 or something? Let's see. Let's pause and edit these numbers in real time. So we're gonna go like this, go like this. We're gonna switch to the, where is it? Level root. You're not supposed to grab the rings by the elbow. Yeah, this is a new technique I've been you know, considering implementing into the game. I think people are really gonna like it. Let's see. Wire rings. Grabbable. Was I off by a 0? Were these really like 005? Oh, see that? That's not... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. This is the wrong variable. It's supposed to be called ring hand offset. Down. And ring hand offset up. Okay. 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 It's an achievement. Oh. Don't even remind me that I probably, you know, in order to be in good favor with these Steam players, I'm probably supposed to have like trading cards and achievements and stuff, right? There's no achievements at all in the game right now. Ugh. Yeah. I think that ship has sailed. Without me. Okay, that's a little better. Now let's go look at this. Right here. Let's go look at this. Okay, look at that. So we're able to get the hands like up on the rings a little better here. Okay. Let's see what happens as we sort of swing around here a little bit. Let's see. Let's turn off the gizmos here so we can actually see something. Okay, so the arms are definitely widening out on top. That looks better. That looks better. Hand placement, definitely an improvement. You know, during the little moments right here where you're sort of transitioning, I think it might actually be that the wrists and the rings are actually like rotating in opposite directions. Well, I don't know. There it is. There it looked like it was the wrong way. This way looks okay, I believe. It's here. When you come down the other, well, no. So when you come down this side, that looks okay. When you come up this way, they kind of turn, seems like the wrong way. Although, you know, we're translating a 2D thing into 3D, so the, you know, I don't know. This is looking much better though. Hands are locked on there way better. They're widening out properly, so that's good. So now we want to check is, yeah, see there? Yeah. Yeah. You know, like right here. Yeah. There it looked the worst. When you're like swinging this way is when it looks the worst. Because this part doesn't make any sense. Your hands like clip through and then they look okay again. You know. I don't know if I can rotate them the other way, because then I think maybe I can. Maybe I can. Maybe I should come back to that though, so I can get a few more things done. Well, let's see. We want to go back to the editor. Nope, that's restart. This one? There we go. Back to the editor. Okay. Let's look at the split bar. Not this one. This one. Because this one looked really weird. The arms were like too narrow. They might still be a little bit. So if we go here, we go like this, we go like this, we can see, now maybe I should just edit the visuals of this thing a little bit as well. Because see, right now they're like very precariously hanging on to the edges there. Yeah. It's better than it was. Still a little. I guess what I can do is just on that actual prop, I'm going to bring that in just a tiny bit. Let's do that instead. So that's the split bar, I think. What did I call it? Pass-through bar. There it is. Okay, so let's see. How easy or hard is this going to be? I guess I probably have to go actually edit the asset. Because this is a skinned mesh. Yeah. Okay, so let's go over to Blender. And let's see here. We want to go to the project. Assets, Gymnast, models, pass-through bar. Here it is. Okay. So I guess what I want to do is I just want to... Does this thing have like a mirror modifier on it? It does. Okay, cool. Thank you, past me. GX. Maybe just like that much. Let's see what that does. Did that move? I think it did. Let's go look at it in game. Oh, achievements. Did that change at all? It looks like it didn't change at all. I should just be looking in the editor rather than using this feature to do this, but whatever. Maybe that changed slightly. I don't know how it did though. Here, let's... Okay, if I go like that. Like, is this the actual file? Yes, it is. Okay, alright. So, undo. Alright, that should be good. Think. Okay. I think we're gonna call this acceptable. If I widen the arms more, then the IK is gonna have an even harder time trying to get the hands to where the game says that it wants them to be. So this is kind of be a little bit of a compromise. There, the hands are actually on there now though, so I think that looks much better. Oh no. I'm never catching that thing again. Ugh. Okay. Alright. Next. There are some cases. Alright, let's... how do I do this? How do I do this? I press this one. And then I press this. Okay. Let's switch back to English. Sprach. English. Okay. There are scenarios here where the ponytail is clipping with the head. See that? See that right there? Sort of like near the ears. Just above, in front of the ears. And yeah. See. And I think there's some cases here where adjusting these parameters will screw things up. Also, adjusting these parameters causes the hair to completely freak out, which I should probably fix as well. So I'm gonna have to go through the less than pleasing helicopter pony. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I'm gonna have to go through the less than pleasing sequence here of trying to get this dang ponytail out of Blender and back into the game again. I was looking to see if there's like a something that will affect the overall width of the face. I don't know if those make it worse or better. Let's see. No. Doesn't seem to be affecting it too much. But we had a one of the avatars was clipping even worse than this. Man, the frame rate is really tanking. What's going on? Oh, interesting. Wait a minute. Maybe it's because... yeah, it was. I have a hypothesis that I'm reapplying the hair physics over and over again when I adjust those parameters. Yeah. Let's... Cause see, now it's smooth again. Let's see. Let's try. So I think it was this avatar where if I give her the ponytail, yeah, it's really bad. See, look at that. Goo. But now look at this. Let's try this. We do the helicopter hair, a whole bunch. Oh yeah. And then all of a sudden Unity is lag town. Okay. Okay, so we have more than just a visual bug to fix here. She also rolls her eyes. Yeah, I need to look into that. Let me write that down, actually. Something about this idol, like every now and then it picks, like, to, like, yeah, that. Like, make the eyes look super weird. So I can probably fix that. Okay, so let's test the hypothesis here. So if we go like this, we go like this, we go look at the avatar, and if I remember correctly here, we're going to work our way up and find my dynamic hair, which is going to be under the neck, head. Even this is kind of laggy. Let's see, dynamic hair. Yeah, so there's what, 3 hair chain scripts on here, right? Remember, there they are. Okay, now let's see what's happening here when we make changes. Yes, look, we just got 3 more every time. Look at that. Let's pause so Unity doesn't freak out. Look at this. The good news is this wouldn't happen in game, because once you go into the game, this logic's only going to happen once, but this is not good. This is not good at all. Okay, so how do we just delete the old ones and make new ones? Really wouldn't like to do that just when you like move one slider. That seems kind of overkill. How's this thing? Ugh, now we gotta try and figure out. It's this thing. It's a dynamic hair chain. It's all these prefabs that just live in the project have this script on them, and setup chain gets called. I mean, I guess we just need to check for the existence of if this is already there, basically. Because here we are just blindly just adding components. There they go, right? Okay, so we want to not do this in the case where we don't need to. So, simple version. Let's try the simple version, right? Simple fix for multiplying components. If one exists, don't do anything. We gotta test now if this is gonna work, where if you switch hairstyles, for example, does this properly get reset? What we'll do right now is we'll just say dynamic hair chain script equals t.gameObject.get component dynamic hair chain. And we just say like if chain script equals null, we get to do this code. We get the privilege of adding these components. All right, let's test that. Let's see. I should switch over to the menu scene since we're going to be working on the avatars a little bit. Okay. Glad I noticed this issue. I think I'm still going to have to do something to fix the helicopteriness. But we'll see. Maybe this is helping address the helicopterosity. Alright, what are we doing? We're going to the scene. We're going to the menu scene. So yes, save the game scene. Whatever I did, save it. Okay. Let's see. Let's try this not maximized yet. Okay. Okay, we've got some ponytail action here. Let's go over here. Okay. So ponytail is our test here. So yeah, see that? It's like wigging out there. We gotta fix that. But also this. I wonder, is it a body parameter that is causing this thing? Like, okay, head size is overall. Head width. Head width is what's affecting this. Look at that. If head width isn't wide, we're good. I wonder how I fix that. Maybe it's in the way I'm skinning this. It seems like the helicoptering could be caused by reinitializing the hair from a point in its swing. So it's, yeah, it seems like it's something like that. I'm probably going to have to throw in something that says, like, it just keeps resetting, see? It's not helicoptering anymore, which is good. It's just resetting. I assume because the bones are getting reset, and this one is authored to be straight out. So it's like, oh, I need to re-fall down to the ground again or whatever. That may not be easy to fix. We'll see. Okay, so its head width is the problem. There's probably a bone on the skeleton that I need to, like, make the sides of the hair map to. Oh, man. That is going to be a problem. Or we just make all the hairs wide enough that you can go full bore with the head width. Does the hair have to reset if you change? It shouldn't, I don't think, but I think what's happening is when you change some of the properties on the avatar, it is, for like one frame you don't notice it, but it's resetting the avatar to like the bind pose. And then the animation, before you ever see that, the animation puts everything back where it was. But I think that means my physics sees a moment where the bones have suddenly moved. That's my theory. Head width. Okay, so we're head width. Reskinning all the hairstyles is not going to be pleasant. Although, I guess if I want to fix this problem, if I wanted to fix it the cheesy way, I would just make all the hairstyles wide enough by default that even if you set the head width that wide, it doesn't clip through. But that still means I got to go into the files and edit them. It means I don't have to change the bone weights. But maybe I can just go into the files and find the bone weights and it won't be too bad. I guess we're about to find out because this has got to be fixed. This is gross. Okay. All right. But now, okay, so we moved that thing like 1,000,000 times and we clearly don't have extra scripts on here anymore, so that's good. But now what happens if we change the hairstyle? Does that work? Let's go to one with nothing. Seems to have worked. Let's go back to one. Now let's go from one that with bones to another one with bones. Okay, they changed. Although yeah, okay. seems okay. Let's go look at the avatar. Double check here. Maybe we have like phantom ones or something. Oh, okay. We have another problem. We have like hundreds of hair colliders. I was wondering why I was still lagging. Let's go double check though. The actual hair itself, yeah, is correct. Okay. Oh, where's that thing? This thing. Same problem. How does this work? Wait a minute. This code doesn't look right. Okay, this thing is like, hey, add colliders. And then like, I just have this completely meaningless thing where I make a list that is empty, and then I iterate over an empty list and call destroy. That makes no sense. Right? Because then we go down here and we just blindly add that junk on there. Keep track of ones we didn't need. What was I planning to do here? I guess I was planning on something dumb. Right. Okay. Well, we're just gonna pretend that code wasn't there. So now we say already has a collider, question mark. So dynamic hair collider call script equals t.game object dot get component. That's always fun. Why did I do? Yeah, this looks like I was planning on the code having an extra step to it or something. I think what it was, I put it there thinking when you change the like avatar or something, these colliders wouldn't get cleaned up, and then I would have to recreate them or something like that. These though, I'm not so sure these get cleaned up. Do we have more than one of these? Like where is the dynamic hair collider setup? There's only one, so all the avatars are using this, and they're all using the same data. Okay. So we just need to do this, and then we need to say if call script equals null, then we go like that, and we go like that. So if we found one, we're just gonna set its values. If we didn't find one, we're gonna add one. Now in theory, I guess what I probably would have had up above here yeah, like I could do, but like this probably isn't necessary. But we could do something like this. We're like, let's get a list of all hair colliders, right? And it's going to be a new list, and it's going to be populated by calling data.skeleton dot what is it? Data.game object. Data.game object dot get components in children. You just wishlist the game. Oh, thank you. That's exciting. If you're still hanging around later in the stream, maybe I can get your feedback on the trailer that I've been making. Okay, so we want to find all the dynamic hair colliders. Okay, so this is now, so as of this line, we found all the existing dynamic hair colliders. Then we're going to walk along here and we're going to figure out which ones we need. So we would do this. If it pre-existed. T dot, what is wrong with this? Oh, wrong type. Won't be, unfortunately, but you can DM me here on Twitter. Okay, cool. Thanks. That'd be great. I would appreciate the feedback. All right, so if there was one. No, here's the problem. Yeah, we're already in a list here. We want to do this. We want to say if we want to say all hair colliders dot remove this one. And then what we can say is if we make it down to here, if there's any in this list by the time we're down here, it means we didn't need them. They existed on the object, but there was no placement for them. So now what we can do is just do for each dynamic hair collider in all hair colliders and destroy that component. Like that. Okay. Edit out. Glad I got the stream from you. Have fun. Thanks. Yeah, thank you very much for stopping by. Really appreciate it. And I really appreciate the wish list. Thank you so much. Game's coming out very soon. I can't wait to have it out in the world properly. Alright, now we shouldn't get slowdown if we mess around with these knobs on the avatars. And then we can see if we can figure out how to get rid of the wiggling. Okay, so here we go. We come into here. We go to one of these avatars. Okay, so now if we go to one of these, we change them. Yeah. Okay, we're changing. So much changing. And let's do what all the YouTubers do, which is just put all the sliders to the right. Right? Like their favorite thing to do. Let's make the most maxed out avatar ever. Yeah, it starts to get a little ridiculous when you move all the sliders all the way to the right. It also looks equally ridiculous if you go to the left. But we did that a whole bunch now. And I don't think I'm seeing slowdown, so that means that we are not duplicating components anymore. So that's good news. Let's go double check that, because if we come up here to here, there's just one dynamic hair collider there, what we would expect. Okay, well now, these ones don't look as bad when you modify things, although there's still a freak out there. So I gotta test my hypothesis. What's gonna be the best way to do that? Okay. What we want to do is we want to go look at a dynamic hair chain. Okay. And we need to not draw some of this junk. Build chain, okay. Draw wire cube. Where are we actually drawing the cones? Oh, draw a cone right there. Where are we calling that? It must be up here somewhere. Draw cone in update. Okay. Okay, where are we actually doing this update? It's in fixed update. Is it only in fixed update? Seems like it. Because it's not a separate function that I'm calling from more than one place. Okay. And we have our distance constraint here. And then an update, we're just debug drawing junk. Okay. So what we want to do here is let's temporarily not draw this. Right, we want to draw the nodes. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna, okay. We're not gonna draw this, we're not gonna draw this, we're not gonna draw this. Right? We are gonna draw these two, so this is just drawing the chain itself. And then let's just do something dumb where we're like, private float hue. Okay. And then we'll be like hue equals mathf.repeat. No, not reference equals, repeat. Hue plus, you know, whatever, 0.05f 1.0. Okay, and then we do color, chain color equals color.hsv to RGB, and we want to use the hue with a full saturation and full value, so we get a nice rainbow. Okay, and we're going to draw it with the chain color. And then we want this to actually last a little while. So let's say 3 seconds. So we can see what we're actually doing here. Now the problem is I'm doing this in update. I shouldn't be doing this in update. Let's make this private void debug draw. Okay. Because we want to do this here. Fixed update. And I guess we want to do it at the beginning. I guess. Because we want to see, like, are we making it into this function where suddenly things have moved? Yeah, I think that's what we want. Okay, and what have I actually got here? Right. Okay. Alright, so this should be enough to visualize what's going on. Okay. What is this actually doing? Oh, we're drawing the little cubes. Okay, we'll leave that alone, I guess. Alright. So... Okay, see that? See that beautiful rainbow? That's showing us the history of the hair. And it looks nice and smooth here because the motion has been smooth. Now what we can do, 3 seconds might be a little on the long side. But we have like 3 seconds of history here. Now let's go in here. And let's look at the ponytail because it's the most straightforward. Okay, see that? See how there was like a okay, what about like if we just change colors? Changing colors doesn't do it. So you have to touch a parameter. Alright, so Yeah, see, look at that. When you... Yeah, the bones are resetting. The bones are resetting. They're resetting, like... Let's see. Did we lose the... I keep losing the controller if I, like, pause. Oh, no. No, wait, no. Maybe not entirely. Weird. Okay. Let's go back here. Get us the ponytail. What I want to know is... Yeah, see, the overall position of the hair is staying updated, but it's just popping back to like the bind pose of out there. So that's a little tricky. How am I going to overcome that? Yeah, okay. Because our simulation here, like, what are we even doing? Okay. We figure out where we were at the end of the last frame. We apply some gravity, and we figure out where we want to be this frame just from gravity and our velocity. Then we constrain things based on distance. So at this point, the actual springs haven't come into play yet. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going through this. Okay, so then we loop through all the nodes and apply the distance constraints. Then we loop through all the nodes and we resolve collision. Then here we say, where actually are you in the world based on the actual transform? And then what angle would you like to be at by looking at the direction of the transform? So this is assuming any movement that happens to the transforms outside of our function here, we believe, essentially. So that's... We could remember this. Because then what we do is we say, well, where do we want to be based on the world position that the node says versus where we are. Then we work out how much rotation that would be, and we constrain it. And then, at the end of this, we derive velocity. And then we actually Alright, up until this, this is actually only just worrying about max constraint, max angle, which may be affecting this. Then down here, we actually How can I fix this? I mean, the simple version would be right before you, when you make a change to the avatar, I cache the rotation of these nodes, and then I restore it after you make the change. That's the simple solution, right? So that would be like I could add a snapshot to this thing. Because this thing has this list here, and it knows its node transform. It knows its root position, root rotation, and then the actual transform. And what it would involve is basically just just restoring. Okay. So let's see. So we would have like node snapshot, and this is going to have a node in question, and it's going to have local position, local rotation. Okay, we're going to test this out. And so then we would have a private list of node snapshots. And it's like, this is our snapshot. Okay. And so then here, maybe like public void capture snapshot. We clear the current snapshot, and then we say chain node n equals chain while n does not equal null. Then we need to create a node snapshot. Snap equals new equals new node snapshot, and the node equals n. The local position equals n dot node transform dot local position, and the local rotation equals n dot node transform dot local rotation. Okay, and then our snapshot gets added. Okay, and then we do public void restore capture snapshot, restore to snapshot. It's kind of a dumb thing here. For each node snapshot snap in the overall snapshot, we just say snap.node.transform.set local set, right? Set position. Okay, fine. Local position equals snap.local pause. Snap.node.node transform.local rotation equals snap.local rot. Okay. Then to test this out, we need to go to new profile, I guess. Yeah, so DC avatar ref force update. That's where we're actually doing this. Now, do we have a thing here? We already have some methods, I think we call. Don't we? Yeah, right here. No, not here. Avatar updated. Character updated. But what about character begun? Character DNA updated. What's character begun do? What's in initialize? Where is it actually called? They got something similar going on here. Character begun, they clear all the cache bones. And then they cache all the bones in the skeleton. And then they set the bone stuff to the cached position and rotation and junk. So in begun, they cache it, and then on updated, they restore it. This looks strikingly similar to what I'm trying to do right now. And they're only doing this in the case where it's ragdoll, because otherwise the animation would cause problems, I feel like. Okay. So there's this character begun thing. So let's try that. Alright. So let's go find this. And do this here as well. Okay. Okay. Alright, so now this, let's go above this, because chronologically speaking, this I think happens first. So let's look at this, .log. I want to see if these both actually happen. Okay. But in theory, what we're going to do here, we're going to find all of the dynamic hair chain. I could do in data.game object.get components in children. Like that. Okay, and then on all of those, in theory, we would capture a snapshot right here. And then we would restore here, whatever it's called, whatever I called it, restore to snapshot. Okay, now that might cause a problem when you switch the avatar types, because it would capture a snapshot for something that's going to get destroyed. But if it gets destroyed, it probably doesn't matter. I don't know. Okay, doesn't like something. Avatar begun, isn't that what I... Oh, I put two underscores? Why would I do that? No, one is enough. One is enough. Okay. Alright, it's compiled. Now let's see if this does what we would like. We gotta go here, go into one of these characters, go to the hair. Let's focus on the ponytail for now. Okay. So now if you change... Uh-oh. Dang it! Endless loop. Ugh. It's the classic blunder with a linked list. Let's go back here. This is the... just gonna loop forever. This needs to be n equals n dot next node. Classic endless loop. Ugh. Okay. Task manager. Kill the Unity editor because I don't know how to make it not just like freeze on the script endless loop. Okay. Yeah, that means that function was being called though, so that's the bright side. Let's get the project back open. Okay. Don't forget to fix the eye roll. Alright, I had one other thing I was gonna try and get to tonight, but I don't think I'm gonna get to now, because I think if we can get this fixed, that will be a good stopping point for the day. And fix a pretty legit bug as well, because we were adding components aplenty. Ugh, and I still gotta figure out the head width. Head width. Ugh. Dun dun dun. Gonna be a problem. Hopefully though I've got all the data set up properly so I can just go into the files, change the blend weights, export, drag it in, right? So it's totally gonna work that way. Okay, come on, Unity. Come on, you can do this. Alright. We fixed the endless loop in theory. Let's just run it. That Ski Freak says, is the game done yet? The game is so very close to being done. The release date is set. It's going to be Friday, September 4th, which is like 2.5 weeks from now. And I'm gonna make it. We're in good shape. Everything I'm working on right now is arguably in the nice to have zone. Although there are a couple things with the avatar editor that are pretty amateur looking. So I'm working on those right now. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna switch to the ponytail because it was the most obvious one. Boom. Oh, we still gotta fix that. Terrible. Okay, here we go. Look at this. Look at this. We're changing sliders, and the hair is not freaking out. Are these sliders even doing anything right now, though? Yes, they are. Look at that. Ears are moving up and down. Look at those ears move. And the hair isn't freaking out. We did it. We fixed the helicopter hair. Let's go look at this. Head width. This is the problem right here. So I'm gonna try and fix all the hairs. If I can't fix all the hairs, then I'm going to have to just clamp this parameter. Say, or just hide this parameter in general. Like, sorry, head width, you don't get. Needs to finish the game. Wallaber likes that idea. Wants to let you make any avatar you've ever dreamed up. Wallaber doesn't like that idea. I'm going to write down that maybe this is the nuclear option. Okay. All right. Let's fix the eye roll before we. Oh, let's do it. Let's test a few other things while we're here. Okay. Okay, we gotta fix that eye roll. That's bad. Okay. That is some bright hair. The texture map is very different on this one than some of the others. It's like just the color straight up, whereas these ones are all sort of modifying the color quite a bit. I see that almost looks purple instead of pink. Even the red looks sort of like maroon. But here it's like red! I like this red hair option. I think it looks cool. Okay. So those are all looking okay. Let's go switch to... Okay, so we still have that problem. That transition there. That like doink. Doink. And there it's like literally the bones are like moving to the origin, or I don't even know. And it like actually lasts for like a frame or two because there's like a delay on this swap. We have to figure that out. Is there a way I can prevent that from happening? Because interesting, because it doesn't really happen when you just... Oh no, it does happen sometimes. Yeah, it does happen when you switch the hairs. Okay. So it's kind of a global thing. But let's see, let's find... Okay, so here, this is the most physically simulated hair on the male avatar. Yeah. Okay, so we fixed this one. So when we're actually changing out the hair, it's a little messed up. Like there's that weird like... It only happens on the ones that have dynamic hair, you'll see. Right? Okay. So that may just be as simple as disabling the hair on the way out. So that would be something like in new profile, when you, I don't know, when you change a, like what's an example? When you change a hairstyle. It probably doesn't happen when you change clothes, because those bones aren't affected, but we can double check that. Let's look here. So like, let's look at hair changed, right? Where's that? Okay, so we call set slot and we call force update. So it would be something like disable dynamic hair would be like a thing we want to do. So let's put that somewhere around like these functions here. Let's just test this and see if this works. So what do we need to do here? We would do something like this, except it would have to be coming from UMA data dot game object. There we go. Okay, and then instead what we're going to do here is we're going to chain dot enabled equals false. Okay, so right now if we switch hairstyles, did we fix it? If we did, then we just pepper that function in to taste everywhere else that it's due. Let's see though if this actually did anything. Okay. Okay. So now when we switch, nope, still seeing like a frame of wackiness there. That wasn't enough. What is even happening there? It's like... Yeah, and this one we're actually like rebuilding everything. Seems a little extreme. But whatever. I mean, do I just need to move this up one? Seems unlikely. I mean, we could even do it up here, but I don't think that's gonna... Now what? Okay. I guess I could look in my rainbow and see what's happening at the end there. Maybe that would be the way to figure out what's going on here. Think about having those dynamic hair. Yeah, see that? If it's a hair that doesn't have physics, like this one, when we switch, it's fine. But if it's one that has physics, like this one, and we switch, it wigs out for a frame. Let's go look at our rainbow. A rainbow debug here. So if we go look at this, we have our little rainbows happening. Okay. And then we switch to this. Do we see any weird, like, rainbowness? Almost like... I don't see anything. Yeah. Okay, so I don't see anything weird with our physics, but we're definitely getting like a frame of the hair just like launching somewhere. Let's see. Does it go into the origin? Where is the origin? Right there. Let's see. I feel like it is probably. Plausible thing that's happening here. Go like this. Yeah, you see that? There's like a frame where we're getting some business happening here. Let's see. Let's go back here. Put those on. Yeah. Guess there's no way I'm going to catch it on that frame. Now we're using this, not here, here. We're using this thing, the UMA bone cleaner, and that's getting put on the root avatar game object, only if there's a new one, so that part makes sense. Let's go look at this. What does this thing do? It says, hey avatar, tell me when the recipe has been updated. And if so, I will clean the bones. It calls process bone, which calls GameObject.destroy on said bone. That's it. That's all it does. Let's try something. T dot set position and rotation to vector 3.0 and quaternion.identity and t.local scale equals vector 3.0. I don't know. I don't feel like this is gonna fix it, but I'm kind of grasping at straws here a little bit about how does this work? How does this avatar system work? And why are we seeing our extra bones like exist for a frame when they shouldn't, essentially? I think that's kind of what's happening. Okay, we go here. Gonna change the hair. Yeah, that did not fix it. Definitely see the hair is like going to the origin for a frame. So, this is definitely happening. I'm sure this code is happening, but it's like it's happening too late. I guess I could try doing this. What is it? It's like Unity editor.editor application is paused equals true. Let's see, if I do that, does this catch it on the right frame? I may need to only do that. Oh, whatever. Let's test it. It's gonna happen multiple times probably here. Yeah, there it happened. Okay, now we come in here. Go like this. It's gonna happen. Look at this though. On this frame. There it is. You know? There it is. So what is this? This is the renderer. Maybe it's my bones. My added bones are like at the origin. Maybe the bones are... Let's see. Oh, look at this. So the bones don't exist. But they're still skinned onto the mesh for like one more frame, it seems. But I don't see the bones here. Let's leave this open. Okay, so now here we are. Boom. We're on the one that has it. We go like this. Okay. That's the situation. Those bones are gone. But for this frame, we still have that hair. And then the next frame, it's gone. So this is like an order of operations thing. There's a one frame delay. Okay. We could try something like... let's see. Almost like we want these bones to last one more frame. But this is not the problem. This is actually kind of the opposite of the problem. We could delay that though. This is what we'll have to do. Maybe it's because this is like, yeah, what if we do this on, not on recipe updated? Or like, what if on character updated? Let's just test this. What if we only do it on character updated? And this might, I don't know, I think this is just going to delay it 1 frame. Or, that would be amazing if that's the case. This is, of course, what happens when you use assets and things in a game, is that there's... Nah, crap. Is that there's aspects of the game... Whoa! Now that... Now that's causing a problem. That's causing a problem because this bone cleaner is deleting the bones right as they get added, so we can't do that. No. We want this one. We don't want this one. But why? How do we fix this then? So I guess we could just try, let's just try something stupid, like okay, let's try something gross. So we'll say okay. No wait, who else calls this? No, it's just these 2 spots, right? Yeah, okay. Alright, so this is just gonna delay this. This should be safe to do. I don't think, this might not be safe to do actually. Because it might delete the bones that we want. Alright, let's see. Yeah. Could be a problem. This is gonna have a delay on it now. Okay, so that's definitely breaking some stuff. What if we go to one that doesn't have it? And then we go, okay. And then we go to one that does. Okay, and we're super breaking it now. Look at this. And go back to one that doesn't. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So maybe the problem is that the bones are getting added a frame too late. And that's the actual problem. That doesn't make sense though. Okay, but we can't do this. That's not helping things. Was this frame? So this is working okay. This is actually working okay, it seems like. And somehow we're just like getting the bones a frame late. Which seems weird. No. It doesn't make sense. No. I'm still thinking about this wrong, I think. Okay, so we still have the set editor pause thing here. Okay. So it's going to pause here. Then we're going to load a character, and it's going to pause and freak out. And it's going to do so because because what? Because we still... let's see. Yeah, well, whatever this mesh is, which we can't really look at, it still thinks there's bones it would like to reference, and those bones don't exist anymore, and then the next frame, it doesn't need them anymore. I just want a release date for Creeper World 4. Creeper World 4? No idea what that is. There you go. One frame. Oh, I think you might have mentioned that game before, actually. Old Tower Defense? When they come in, they're fine. It's when they're going out that you have the problem. So, what if we go to one that also has... So here, what's happened? Things got a little weird. Probably because the bone names are being reused. Like a classic tower defense. Nice. And if we go to... tower defense against a liquid, that's a cool idea. Anything with fluid physics, you know, I'm into it. There we go, see? See? So the bone that used to exist on this hairstyle. Okay, Creeper World 3, I don't have to look this game up. Sounds like my kind of game. So the old hair had some bones. They no longer exist. It's just because we're like one frame late on the mesh. So, if we go here to edit project settings, let's look at this kind of like big. We go to script execution order. Is there anything here that looks a little funky? So we have, where's the UMA stuff? Here we go, UMA generator. Happens early. UMA generator glib, whatever that is, happens next. And then we have some, that's it. Which means that any other UMA scripts would be happening here. There's nothing obvious here. Yeah, if you can drop a link. I think links are allowed in the chat right now, so feel free. I'd like to check it out. Oh, cool. Oh. Oh man, this looks deep. Looks pretty cool. Never finish it and refuse to rebuy it. Yeah. Probably should. Speaking as a person who tries to make games and get people to buy them. This looks cool. Looks super open-ended. Wow. Nice. Okay, so we have like a 1 frame delay. I wonder. Oh, what's this? Switch for frame. Option on generator to force all pending UMAs to be built on the next frame. Okay. Generator. I don't know if that's... Is that here somewhere? UMA generator. Fast generation, what is that? True to have the UMA in a single update. Otherwise, generation can span multiple frames. We have fast generation turned on. Iteration count. Number of iterations to process each frame. 2. Let's see if that makes a difference. First game I remember I got on iOS was Tower Defense way back with iPhone 3. That's cool. That would have been probably even before Jellycar came out on the App Store. Maybe not. Maybe around the same time. Okay, so we're still having the 1 frame shenanigans here. Boom. Gross frame. And if you go from one to the other, you get a happy frame. But if you go to one with the... Not to one with the physics, but away from one with the physics, you get jank. Doesn't look happy about what's happening to her hair right now. Guess I wouldn't either. Okay, what else we got here? Generator. Fast generation. Process all pending, what does that do? We could give that a shot. That was that thing I just looked up. UMA context, okay. Dynamic asset loader. Dynamic character system. Blah blah blah, nothing obvious there. These are the libraries, okay. Okay, this is super unlikely to make a change, but let's try it. Seems like the whole underlying problem is that there is a frame delay at all. What do I do about this? I can't delete the bones a frame later. I don't think. Maybe we can clean up that code though, and maybe we can. Yeah, see, we're still getting this. So we go from physicsy hair to, well, even just different physicsy hair, right? Like if I do this, yeah. Boom. And then if I go to like that, yeah, okay. So none of those checkboxes are gonna solve our problem for us. So we could probably revert this the way it was. Okay, now let's look at something then. So the way this thing works is it has a bone name, slot type name, and a recipe. So the problem is we need a way to clean up unused bones, but we're cleaning them up 1 frame too fast. That's the problem. right? In fact, if we what if we just don't even do this, right? Let's look at that. So if we do not remove the bones, what happens? It's possible because of the way we have this implemented, and that I'm using force update judiciously. It may not matter. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so that makes the issue go away. Right? You go like this, look at that, we get a clean frame, and then there it is. But now let's look at our character. Do we still have our... We still have these bones hanging out here, see? Okay. So that's sort of problematic. I mean, I guess what it'll mean is we'll end up with like the sum total of all of the possible dynamic hair bones. Ooh. And it freaks... Oh no, it's just because it's pausing. I thought it was freaking out there. Okay, so if we keep doing this, let's go try all the different ones that have like different... Whoa! Okay. Yeah, and the physics isn't working now. Okay, so we've kind of narrowed down where the problem is. So the problem is this guy. And if we go look at... Oh, sorry, I missed your chat there, Ski Freak. Yeah, there were some Flash games were awesome. And it was like a whole like sub culture of games. This sort of doesn't exist anymore, which is a bummer. I mean, I know it sort of does. You know, Congregate and websites like that still exist, but the sort of, I don't know. The traffic is certainly not there anymore, and so the creators aren't there anymore, and so the games aren't really the same. Okay, so if I search for hair, we go look at like, or do I want to search for application? I think no, I don't. It's what I want to do. Dynamic. Okay, so here's an example of one of these. And it says, hey, I'm a type hair. That's the slot type name. And then the way it works, though, is it actually gets the current wardrobe item. So when we're walking through adding these, we say, hey, by the way, there's a root bone called dynamic hair root for the slot type hair. And for this particular recipe, which is like whatever, you know, hair underscore follow 5 or whatever. Right? And then what happens is you make a change. So this thing comes through here and it's like, okay, cool. Let's look at the bones we've been told we need to get rid of. And actually, if I go back and look at this, this is per... It's just the root. It's actually saying get rid of the entire dynamic root bone. Yeah, then the Flash games did have sort of like names that made it hard to find those games again. Right, so this thing is saying, hey, and my problem is I've named them all the same thing. They all have the same name. It's dynamic hair root or whatever. And so I can't delay deleting this because then I'll be deleting the new one. And the way this is working right now is this deletes them and a new one gets created. But we have a frame in between. Is the problem. So now possibly then we could could we? Let's see. Could we we zoom and okay zoomer? I'm wondering if I could. Yeah, okay. Let's test this. This feels gross. It's another gross thing. We're gonna do start coroutine. You know, clean bones delayed, right? And then this is gonna be a private enumerator. Clean bones delayed. We're gonna yield return null once. Zoomers are safe for now. Okay. So then this will delay a frame, which would be a problem and would break things. However, we're gonna delay a frame, but we're going to I think if this ever actually compiles. Did it compile? Okay. Then we're gonna go to the project settings, execution order, and we're gonna add in the bone cleaner. What was it called? Is it UMA bone cleaner or something like that? Oh my god, this list is so dumb to navigate. I could probably drag and drop the script. That would be faster. But I'm committed now to this scroll view. Oh my god, there's a lot of rewired classes. Oh, here comes root motion. There's gonna be plenty of those too. Look at all that. I forgot to mention root motion in the credits. I probably should. Away bone. Oh my god. Lord. This was not worth it. Where was it? The UMA Jigglebone? This is the stupidest name ever. Is that what it was? Nope, it's UMA Bone Cleaner. God damn it. What was the UMA.UMA Bone Cleaner? Okay, well, let's just see if we can actually drag this in. So let's plop this over here somewhere. Okay. Bone Cleaner. Oh, and where's the one I just added? This thing. Go away. Okay. UMA Bone Cleaner. Can I drag you into this list? Yes. You're way down here, but you're gonna go way up here. Way up here. You're so far up here. Where to go? There it is. Okay. back into the pre-default time all the way to there. The idea is I'm going to delay it a frame, but then it's going to happen before the generator, which I believe the generator is the thing that is going to make the new bones. Hopefully that gets us on the correct frame. If this works, I'm going to feel very unsatisfied with the fix, but I'll also feel happy that we can like consider moving on from it. Let's see. I have a suspicion this is not going to fix it because it seems... Dang it! Does not appear to be... Oh, it's even worse. Broke stuff. Why did it break? Oh, it's... Okay. Wait, before we freak out. How about this one? Wait for end of frame instead of null. I think that actually puts us in a slightly different spot in Unity's update loop. We could even say wait through... No, I don't know. Probably not gonna fix it. Or maybe it did. If switching between yield return null and yield return new wait for end of frame did it. That's something. Okay, look, we're not getting a freak out there. That's pleasant. Go back. Okay. Now let's go to this. Now this is a hair with physics on it. Let's go to a different one with physics. This is just jumping right in the deep end of the test here. I'm scared to do it. Like, looks good this frame. Looks okay next frame, other than that the motion blur is freaking out. I'm not gonna sweat that too much. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Motion blur is not the worst. What are you talking about? Motion blur makes the game look smooth. You can turn it off though, in the settings. Or some other setting I was realizing I might need to add. Oh, I was going to make an option to turn off the ocean, I think. This causes some performance impact, and if that's the difference between the game running smooth and not, like, I don't really care if you have an ocean back there to look at, you know? Make a remove truck horn option. Oh, I changed that quite a bit, actually. I reduced the volume and I edited it so it comes up less frequently. Okay, so we seem to have hacked our way to something resembling a fix for this stupidness. This is so gross that we're doing it this way. We're gonna commemorate how gross this is, but with a comment. This is gross. Delaying a frame so that the bones don't get destroyed a frame before the mesh updates. Had to pair this with... Yeah, the... I can recreate it for you if you'd like. Just every now and then during the stream. Sorry. Had to pair this with a change to script execution order. Placing UMA bone cleaner before UMA generator to preserve the order of operations. Okay. Now we need to get rid of the thing where we pause the game. This is good. We fixed a bunch of stupid little things. I didn't fix the head width. Every day that passes, the nuclear option there is going to look more and more appealing. Alright, let's let's stress test this a little bit. So let's close this. I don't like having that open. Maximize on play. Okay. We go into here. We can change the hair without it freaking out. Yes. And we can go way down here to this. And with the ponytail, we can make changes to the avatar here. And it's not completely freaking out like it was before. That's very, very, very pleasant. And then we can go all the way up here and we get like, go like this. We could change the presets. That transition looks much better. Much better. Okay. Check the dude hairs. Look at that. They're not freaking out anymore. Let's go into Wallower mode and get the gray hair going here. For authenticity. If only my hair could ever be that long. That's not gonna happen. It's gonna look like this pretty soon, actually. Getting like these spots right here. Hair is just disappearing by the minute. That's definitely not gonna happen for me anytime soon. This is in my future though. Or this is the this is well over by the time he finishes his next game. Alright, let's fix the eyeball weirdness. And then I think we'll be a good stopping point for tonight, because we made some solid fixes and progress, including fixing several bugs. Arm placement is better on some of the props. Yeah. So we need to go here and to the expression player. Is it just the saccades or whatever? Or is it this gaze junk? I think it's the saccades. Saccades, however you're supposed to say that. Let's see, if we turn this off and run it, do we get the weird eye rolling or not? Let's go investigate. So you go like this so we can see up close. Get the hair out of the eyes. There we go. Okay, we're blinking, but the eyes are not wiggling around at all. Looks a little unnatural, but they're not doing the weird roll back in the head thing, which is an improvement. Now, they're like saccades or whatever. Was there any parameters for this? Here we go. There we go. Is this junk? So let's turn it back on. Okay. And then let's look and see. Eye movement range. Let's just crank this down. See what this does. Okay. Okay, so they're just moving way too much, right? That seems to be the problem. Let's go back to this. And let's set max saccade or whatever magnitude to like 1. Is that going to change anything? Or is it something else causing you? Okay, so alright. Maybe it's eye movement range. Let's make this a 10. It's back to a 5. Oof. Seems like this isn't doing much, right? Maybe I can't change these like at runtime. Let's see, eye movement range 0. 0. Is it still moving? Okay, so I don't think I can edit that in play mode. Let's go back down here. So let's say eye movement range is a 5 and this is a 1. Does that do anything? I'd like to leave in a little bit of movement of the eyes, but pretty messed up at the moment. No, that's what is that even doing? They're like glazing over in some weird way. It's really, really weird. That's like making it worse. Which seems weird. Can we go look at the code for this thing? Let's go look at the code. Right? Okay. So update these things. What does it do? The direction is a random number between 0 and 4. The offset is some hard-coded number. And then the magnitude is between 0.01 and that. And then the distance, ugh, what is this junk? Okay, these numbers are, oh, and we have a gaze mode. Goodness. Okay. So this is dividing by eye movement range. So if this number is bigger, this number gets smaller, right? Man, there's some just like weirdness. I guess these are based on real like durations and stuff. So the actual magnitude, these are small numbers though. So let's try, this should be like 0.1. And then eye movement range. Let's keep that a big number, 35. See what that does. Oh, Toriously, hey, how's it going? Thank you for stopping by. I haven't been, missed a few streams lately because I've been working on the game offline. But I'm in here trying to make some changes today. Ugh, that's not good. Okay, let's see. Toriously, were you streaming today? Well, you can't. Okay, so we'll go here. So tired, been overworking with 2 jobs the last couple weeks, no streaming. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. 0.01. Let's make this like 500. Does that actually change things? Let's look. Okay, are they even moving at all now? They are moving a little bit. Go look at this closer. Yeah, the eyes are moving a little bit now. We got them into a little bit more reasonable range. Okay, so now let's look at this again. What if this is 0.02? We're going to double it. Double the amount of movement. There we go, that's getting somewhere. Okay, now what if we bring this down to like 100? Okay, starting to look a little extreme, the amount of looking around that's happening. Okay, we finally figured out how to tune these dang parameters. 200. Yeah, even less, right? $300. Okay, so now maybe we set this to be 0.015. These numbers were just set to completely ridiculous values before, it looks like. That's getting somewhere. That's getting somewhere. I think we could even bring this back down to 0.01. Which, wait a minute. Yeah, that means we're not really utilizing this, actually. Maybe put this back like this, and we set this to like 400. I don't really know what that number is doing exactly, but... yeah, that's something. Yeah, and then there's this whole gaze mode stuff. But we're not using that. Alright, yeah, those are our numbers right there. 500, 0.015. Okay. 500, 0.015. Apply. Apply. Now is that gonna... it doesn't really matter in game. You're not gonna be seeing this at all. Let's double check it. Scenes. Okay. Save. Okay, so the gymnast avatar, which has a dynamic character avatar, which has... correct, it has these numbers we just set. Sweet. Alright. I think we are at a good stopping point for today. We're gonna... yeah, I think we're at a good stopping point for today. So let's go look at this. We adjusted the grab width. Done. Dynamic hair bones wig out on reset. Done. Fixed ponytail clipping. Not done. But we also found and fixed several bugs. So it was slightly more productive than those 2 tasks made it seem. Yeah, so one of the things I want to try, I'm probably going to try this tomorrow then. Or maybe on Thursday. I want to at least attempt a scary last minute change, which is that when the gymnast gets knocked out, actually, the way the game works is there's a 2D gymnast. It's constrained to 2D, it's simplified, it only has one arm, one leg. You know, the whole thing's 2D. And that gets mapped to the 3D avatar as you're playing. And right now, even when you get knocked out or something, the 2D gymnast kind of goes limp and flops around, but I keep having to map the 3D avatar to it, so you never get like... it's not very natural looking, right? So what I'm tempted to do is when you get knocked out, I'm going to turn off the connection between the gymnast, the visual 3D gymnast, and the 2D simulated gymnast. I'm going to sever that connection and then let the 3D gymnast fully ragdoll, which should make for cooler biffs. Now, you might say, like Ski Freak is saying in chat right now, why are you talking about this? You're supposed to be done with this game. Well, the reason is that I am basically done. All of my showstopper bugs are pretty much fixed. And as I have been working on the trailer for the game, it's playing up the fact that it's kind of a hard game. I have lots of humorous biffs and fails. And I noticed that all the biffs in the game start to look pretty samey, and it's because there's no like rotation, the arms don't flop over or anything. Everything kind of stays 2D. And so it's a really big bang for the buck, which if I could get it in the next day or two, means we could capture some better biffs for the trailers, and the whole game would probably benefit from it. So that's probably the biggest priority I have right now, actually, is the 3D ragdoll. Other than that, I need to do a pass on build size, make sure I don't have any files that are making it into the build that don't belong there. And I need to wait and get some feedback from native speakers on the languages. If they have any fixes, make those fixes. I already got in a few. And then, I have a handful of things on the backlog here that I could do. But none of these are players playing the game won't be missing anything by them not being there. They're just things that could maybe make the game slightly better. Yeah. This one I would really like to do, which is that every time you retry a level or you crash and get knocked out, I wanted to add those into the replay editor as little like ticks in the timeline so you can jump to them. But if I'm honest with myself, the replay feature is not going to get used that much, which is kind of a shame, but the reality is not that many players are going to care about it. So it's hard to prioritize that much higher. I mean, one of the coolest things I could do is add in a secret gymnast with like different body strength or something, like something that changes the game. But if it's a secret, not that many players are going to see it, and that's a fairly risky thing to do, even riskier than the ragdoll stuff. The ragdoll stuff is like, I can try it. If it doesn't work, I just don't enable it. But having a different gymnast that brings in a different prefab and stuff, I kind of have the code to do that, but it's a little scary. Oh, I was going to mention, I forgot I was going to add final IK to credits. Yeah. Yeah, but otherwise, I'm in really good shape. Which means at some point this week, I should be able to make a release candidate build and get that on Steam so that I'm even more safe. So that's cool. This is not the game where I would personally be happy with a secret character with different stats. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I would probably treat it more as a Easter egg kind of thing, where if you like finding it does kind of break things, but there isn't even like an online leaderboard or anything, so it's not really like you'd be breaking it for everyone else. But yeah, I think the return on the investment, so to speak, is not amazing for that. Lately I've been thinking though, I really hope this game sells well enough to justify further work on it, because there is one thing I would just love to add to the game, which would be a cool thing to add post-launch, or some point in the future, which is the diving update. And the diving update would be a whole new pack of levels, and all those levels would take place over water. And on the water there'd be like some buoys floating or something indicating a particular zone. And you beat the level by doing diving into the water inside that region. And then it would also have like a final thing where it scores the dive. You still have to get there, right? Because there would be crazy obstacle courses and junk. But it also scores the dive when you go in. Like if you go in with no splash, you get more points or whatever. It'd be super cool. It would really change the game. Visually, it'd be cool. It's a new location. Probably set it like maybe inside a giant like indoor swimming facility or something. Or out over the ocean, considering you already have kind of an ocean setting for most of the game. It would be super cool, but I'm only going to let myself work on that if I think that it would be worth it, which would only be worth it if the game sells well enough that I think I could make like a DLC for it, essentially, which is what this would be. Probably would be pretty cheap, you know. It wouldn't be a huge DLC, but I think it'd be really cool. So I would love to do it, but we'll see. I have no idea about this game. Like, maybe no one's gonna care about it at all, which I would understand. Or maybe, you know, it'll find a moderately sized audience. I really have no idea how to know. I guess it all comes down to whatever the ground truth is about how appealing the game is, and then how effective I am at marketing the game, which is scary and difficult, especially without much of a budget. Alright, anyway, that's enough rambling. I'm going to pack it in for the night. This was a solid chunk of work. We really cleaned up the avatar editor quite a bit, which is great. Still have the one issue with head width, and I feel like I'm already know what my solution's going to be, but we'll look into it. Alright, everyone, have a good night. Thanks for dropping by. Really appreciate it. And see you around.